Hey guys, it's Miss DeLitto. We're going to check out how we can subtract rational numbers in this video. So subtracting a number is really the same as adding its opposite. So we're going to look at two different ways that we can think about answering these kinds of problems where we are subtracting positive and negative numbers. The big thing is to remember, since it's the same as adding its opposite, we can rewrite each of these subtraction problems as an addition problem and then use our rules for adding rational numbers to answer the question. So the first question, -4 minus 7. In this problem, we're subtracting 7. So we can think of this in two ways. The opposite of subtracting 7 is adding -7. So we can say -4 plus -7. The second way that we can think about this is we can think about what numbers are we combining. So subtracting and addition are really things that go hand in hand, and adding really means combining. We're really doing the same thing with subtraction. So to think about what we're combining, I can circle the terms or the numbers that we're dealing with. So the first number I see in this problem is -4. So I'm going to circle -4. When we take a look at our second term, it's tempting to want to say this is -7, but we can also think of this, if we cover what we circled, as -7. And now that we've identified those two terms, we can combine them, or we can add them together. And we'd be adding -4 plus -7. Either way, we end up with the same addition expression. Now that we know our addition expression, we can use the rules for adding rational numbers to actually answer this question. So to review, first question we should ask ourselves is, are the signs the same or are they different? And in this case, the signs are the same. I'm adding two negative numbers. So if the signs are the same, I'm going to find the sum, or add, like I normally would, and keep the sign in my answer the same. So 4 plus 7 I know is 11, and because both of the numbers I'm adding are negative, my answer should be -11. Let's take a look at another example. In this next example, 6 minus 10, we're subtracting 10. So we can think about the opposite of subtracting 10 is adding -10. We can also think of this in terms of circling. We can think 6 is the first term we see, and if we cover what we've circled already, we're left with -10. And to combine them or add them together, we would write 6 plus -10. Now that we have an addition expression, we can follow the rules for adding rational numbers. In this case, the signs are different because I have one positive and one negative. So I'm going to first subtract 10 minus 6 to find the difference, which is 4. And now to determine the sign in my answer, I'm going to look at the absolute values of each of these. And in this case, the absolute value of -10 is larger than the absolute value of 6. I can also think about this in terms of the raw number, and I can say 10 is a bigger number than 6, so I'm going to keep the sign that goes with 10. So in this case, my answer is -4. So these next two are special situations in subtraction where we're really subtracting a negative, or what we might call a double negative. So we're going to look at this again in two different ways. So again, because subtracting is the same as adding its opposite, in this case, 6 minus -3, we know we're subtracting -3. So the opposite of subtracting -3 is adding +3. So we have 6 plus 3. We know this is equal to 9. We can also think about double negatives, like I cannot not eat dinner. Those two double negatives cancel each other out and become a positive. So when we see these double negatives, we know they really mean that we're adding. In the next example, we're going to do something similar. -5 minus -9. So again, in this example, -9 is being subtracted. The opposite of subtracting -9 is adding +9. So we would write -5 plus 9. If we think about these double negatives, which are negative signs that are right next to each other, canceling out and becoming a positive, we end up with -5 plus 9. Same answer. In this case, again, our signs are different, so we're going to subtract 9 minus 5, which is 4, And because 9 has a greater absolute value than negative 5, my answer is going to stay positive.